Okay, so what we've got going is I'm going to show you the difference between a point constraint and a parent constraint that's not without the rotations constraint. Okay, so I'm going to create a little mock-up scenario real quick. I'm just going to create a locator. And I'm going to just move that over here into empty space. I'm going to duplicate that. Okay, and then I'm going to create a NURBS cone just so that we can see the difference between these two more easily. Okay, so first I'll do a point constraint. So both of these will be parents to the cone. I'm going to go constrain point, and I'll leave maintain offset on. And I'll click add. Okay, so now wherever I move either one of these locators, that cone tries to stay, relatively in between them. And I guess while I'm at it, I might as well talk about the influence. So we've seen these sorts of things before, and you can make the cone go to one side or the other by adjusting these values. But if they're both have an equal number, then it's going to stay halfway between the two parent objects that it's constrained to. Okay, but if I rotate this locator, nothing happens to this cone. Okay, so that's the important distinction for now. Okay, so I undid to before I did the point constraint. Now I'm going to go to constrain parent, and I'm going to leave it all maintain offset is checked, and I want to constrain the translates and the rotates. So I'll click apply. Okay, now this time when I rotate this control, the cone rotates in its own space, but it also moves as I rotate the locator. And the same thing would happen over here. Okay. Well, but I can also translate these and it acts like a point constraint, right? Okay, so here's the difference though. Not just that it's rotated, but what we need is our feathers to obey rotation, but not rotate themselves. So they need to obey rotation of the parent object, in this case both the locators, but not rotate itself. So we need to figure out how to change that. So if I select this and select all the rotations on the NURBS cone, break connections, now it still works like a point constraint. But remember, on the point constraint, if I were to rotate one of the parents, nothing would happen, right? But now I can rotate it, and the rotations do affect the cone. But what's important about breaking the rotations on the constraint is that the cone will maintain its own orientation. So it can move in the translate and rotate space of its parents, but without rotating itself. Okay, and this is the method we're going to use on our feathers. The point constraint by itself wasn't working. So there's an easier way. You don't have to actually break these connections. Let me undo. And all you have to do is uncheck this rotate. And if I were to click add, it's the same thing as breaking the connections to the rotates after the fact. Okay, so that's that. And we'll go and apply it to the feathers on our next video.